That's what I was waiting for. Okay, welcome guys. Thank you for being here this evening. For tonight's class, we're really going to focus on just doing a relaxation class. So there's going to be some gentle movement. There'll be some yoga stuff. But then I'm going to take you guys through scan for body awareness and then lead that into either a Shavasana or just a resting period. So I really want you guys to take this next 45 minutes to really just relax, and whatever that means for you. If you fall asleep, that's great. Whatever works for you. So I didn't say it in the Facebook post, but if you guys have maybe a pillow or a blanket or anything else to get cozy, feel free to do that. Yeah, you can grab those from wherever. And then maybe just a towel or a t-shirt to throw over your eyes when we're down on our back resting. And the last thing, of course, is the playlist. If you want to go ahead and get some music started, I didn't put together a yoga playlist today. So if you just want to play that Shavasana playlist, Sarah just dropped it in the chat, or no music, whatever works for you this evening. All right. I think we're ready to go. For today's session, we're going to get started in a child's pose. So you can make your way onto your mat and bring your knees about as wide as your mat or any width that's comfortable, so you can kind of test it as you get down there. Let your big toes touch back behind you and try to sit your hips back to your heels. And if you have a pillow close by or your blanket close by and you want to throw that between your hips and your heels, if you feel like there's space, feel free to do that to start class. And once you do, let your arms settle in front of you. Arms hang heavy and forehead rests down on the mat. So we're going to use this posture as our first grounding pose this evening. Eyes are closed, and just taking some slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Letting go of your day as much as you can. Letting go of any expectations for the remainder of the session. And really just starting to let your body settle. Let your mind settle. And as always in child's pose, if it feels good, you can bring in a little bit of movement. Maybe rolling your forehead on the mat slowly side to side might feel good. You can also just gently rock your hips side to side. So as you're stretching your hips and your low back, might feel good bringing some movement. And just continue to lengthen out your breath here. And now we'll just take a side body stretch. So walk your hands all the way over to the right side, off the right side of your mat. And just let your head rest down again. You can press your hands into the ground and see if you can lean your weight over to your left hip more. So getting a nice side stretch along the left side of your body. And then on your next inhale, just slowly walk your hands through center and switch sides, walking your hands off the left side of the mat. Lower your head back down. You can press your hands into the ground and then lean your hips to the right. Good. Walk your hands back in through the middle. And press yourself up to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Bring your knees a little bit closer together. Wrist directly underneath your shoulders. And we'll take a wrist stretch here. Turn your hands around so wrists face the top of your mat. And you can close your eyes once you settle into this pose. As much as possible, I'd like for you guys to close your eyes throughout class, so you're familiar with most of these postures. You're welcome to just close your eyes and just notice how everything feels in your body today. Slowly turn your hands around, fingertips face forward. And we'll take our shoulder stretch here. Lift your right arm to the sky, open up chest to the right side. And on your exhale, thread it through. Drop down onto your right shoulder, twisting to the left. Head down, shoulder down. And pause here. Take one more big breath in. And on your exhale, press yourself up to tabletop pose, hands and knees. And now start to move through some rounds of cat-cow. On your inhale, belly drops, tail lifts, arch back. Exhale, round spine, chin to chest. Puff up your back, spread your shoulder blades apart. And keep moving with your breath like that. Belly drops low when you breathe in. Exhale, rounding it out. Any other movements that feel good? Rock your hips side to side. Shoulders can shift a little. Good. One more round here. Settling back into a neutral spine. On your next inhale, lift your left arm to the sky. Open up chest to left side. Good. And then exhale, thread it through. Drop down onto your left shoulder, twisting to the right. Head down, shoulder down. And slowly get yourself out of there. Make your way back up to tabletop pose, hands and knees. And then we'll take our counter stretch for our wrist, just one hand at a time. Flip one hand over so it's the top of your hand on the mat. Try to straighten both arms and then lean your weight back just slightly, only if you need it. You might be able to feel it without leaning any weight back. Good. And then flip that hand over. Opposite hand flips over all the way up to your wrist crease. Straighten both arms. Relax your shoulders and lean it back just slightly if you need to. Really gentle. Good. Place that hand down. And we'll take a calf stretch down here. So send your right leg straight back behind you, toes curl under on your mat. And you can either hold your static stretch, or if it feels better, rock forward and back on your right toes. Let that movement be slow and smooth. Really emphasizing your exhale as you start to press your heel in the direction of the ground. And place your right knee down to the mat, switching sides. Lengthen your left leg back behind you. Toes curl under. Same thing. You can hold static, or if you like the way it feels, rock forward and back on your left toes. Good. Place your left knee down to the ground. And now bring both of your knees together, feet together. Curl your toes under and then sit back on your heels. This is the most active stretch we're going to do. Stretching our feet, the one everybody hates but everybody needs. Check on your pinky toes, make sure they're curled under. Heels are close together. And then try to let your hands rest in your lap, palms face up. Sit up super tall, shoulders stacked over your hips. Take a breath. Good. Okay, release that. Nice job. Shift yourself forward, and then we're going to come around to seated from here. So make your way down to a seat. And if you have a blanket or a pillow close by and want to sit up that to release your hip flexors, if you're feeling your hip flexors at all while you're seated, feel free to do that. Yeah, and we'll start in just a butterfly pose here. Feet together, knees apart. And you choose how you want this to feel. So if you need more of a stretch, bring your heels in closer to your body. If you want to make it just really easy breezy tonight, feet further away. You can start with your hands on your ankles. And then as you feel ready, walk your hands out in front of you. Any amount more. Relax your shoulders, close your eyes. And same thing as our child's pose. If you want to rock side to side, might be able to get a little extra stretch in your inner thighs and hips. Good. Walk your hands in, sit up, and then just come to a cross-legged position, whatever that means for you. You can keep your feet as they are or kind of cross at your shins if that's best. Place your hands on your knees, palms face down. Sit as tall as you can and close your eyes here. Lower your chin to your chest. And take a one head roll in both directions, all the way around. Releasing any tension in the tops of your shoulders. And when you're done with that, you can slowly bring your head back up through center and just take 2 really big shoulder shrugs here. Inhale, shoulders all the way up to your ears. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Yeah, exaggerate the movement. Do that one more time. Inhale, shoulders high. Good. Exhale, shoulders down and back. We're taking a spinal twist next. Left hand drops to your right knee. Right hand reaches for the ground behind you. Anywhere on the ground is fine. Sit tall, breathe in, and breathe out, take a twist. And if it feels good, you can take a head roll. Maybe kind of turn your head side to side. Perfect. Okay, gently unwind that. Switch the way that your legs are crossed. So bring your opposite leg in front. Readjust if you need to. And now we'll take our twist to the second side. Right hand reaching for left knee, left hand reaching for ground behind you. Sit tall, breathe in, and breathe out, twist. Same thing, if you want to take a head roll or maybe half a head roll, stretching into your neck a little bit more. Last breath in. And as you breathe out, just come back out through center, gently unwind. Hands back on top of your knees and take another big shoulder shrug. Inhale, shoulders high. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Good. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Feel free to keep your feet hips width apart, maybe even wider, and a soft bend in your knees. Inhale, lift arms up to the sky. And then exhale, fold. Reach for whatever you can. The ground is perfect. Relax your shoulders. Stretching into your low back and your hamstrings here. Really nice. Okay, I want you to stay in this forward fold. Just walk both of your hands over your right leg. So on the outside of your right leg, kind of coming into just like a slight little twist. Press your fingertips or your hands down into the ground. See if you can feel more of a stretch on the left side of your low back. Now walk your hands through center and just switch sides. So both hands drop over to the left side, over your left leg. Relax your head, press your fingertips down into the ground and send more weight over to your right side body. Good. Bring it back in through center. Make your way up to seated. And then from here, we're just coming straight down onto our backs, where we will remain for the rest of class. So make your way all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest to start. And if you want to have your blanket close by, you can have that, or maybe a couple pillows as well if you have those. So knees hug into chest, and I just want you to take some slow knee circles around. You can move them around in one direction. And then switch directions when you feel ready. Move your knees the opposite way. Just feeling a nice massage along your low back. Now bring both of your knees straight into your chest and lengthen your left leg straight out in front of you onto the mat. Hug right knee in with both hands. And start with some ankle circles with your right foot. Moving through both directions. While you're here, you can shift your right knee side to side. Taking a hamstring stretch, straighten your right leg up to the sky. Both hands reaching for back of right leg. Anywhere is good. And if it feels better on your back, ground your left foot down. So place your left foot down on the mat. It'll give you a little more space, but it will also keep all of your low back grounded. So you have the option to stay here or point and flex your right foot slowly. And if this feels easy and you need a little bit more, you can start to walk your hands further up your leg, so closer to your foot. Good. And then release that. Lengthen your left leg straight back onto the mat, and we'll take a spinal twist here. So drop your right knee across your body to the left side and let your right arm extend all the way out to the right. Keeping your hand on top of your knee if that feels good. but really trying to stay rooted down through your right shoulder. So opening up your chest as well. Smooth, steady breath. And on your next inhale, roll back onto your back slowly. Bring both of your knees into your chest. Bring your knees wider than your body, so wide apart, and then just rock a little side to side. Lengthen your right leg straight out in front of you onto the mat for the second side here. So hugging left knee in with both hands. And you can start with your ankle circles with left foot. Move through both directions. And if it feels good, rocking your left knee side to side, releasing your hip flexor slightly. Now straighten your left leg up to the sky, both hands reaching for back of left leg. Can be a different spot than your right leg. They likely feel different. An option to ground your right foot down on the mat. So once you're here, you can point and flex your left toes. And as you feel ready, you can also walk your hands further up your leg. And now you can slowly release that, lengthen your right leg back out in front of you onto the mat and come into your spinal twist. So right hand guides left knee across your body to the right side. Let your left arm extend out to the left. And keeping your left shoulder moving in the direction of the ground. It doesn't have to be touching the ground, but just trying to root it down. As you're taking really slow, intentional breaths. Then roll back onto your back on your next inhale. Hug both of your knees into your chest. And we'll take like a butterfly happy baby pose. So bring soles of feet together, arms on the insides of your legs. Reach for your feet or your ankles, sending your knees away from you, and then just rock side to side if that feels good. You can use your elbows to press your inner thighs away from you as you're rocking. Good. Moving into our hip stretches, place both feet down onto the mat, feet about hips width apart, or maybe wider. Right ankle crosses over left knee for reclined pigeon pose. You have the option to stay here if you feel something. If you need to feel more, right hand can press right thigh away from you. Or both hands can reach your back of your left leg, that left thigh, and hug that thigh in toward body. Any of these variations, feel free to rock side to side. You might feel a little more in your glutes and your hips that way. If your left foot is lifted, place your left foot back down on the mat. Keep your legs as they are and just let both knees fall over to the right side. Once you're there, heel toe your left foot over to the left more. And if this does not feel good on your knee, you can take your right foot off of your knee at any point. Otherwise, just breathing. Arms can be out wide or maybe hands rest on your belly. Gently release foot off of knee. Bring both of your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Release your low back. And then we'll move into the second side. So place both feet down onto the ground. This time, left ankle crosses over right knee. And you can choose, stay exactly here if you feel something. Left hand can press left thigh away from your body, or maybe both hands reach your back of right leg, hugging leg in toward you. And if it feels right, finding movement. Now place your right foot down onto the ground if it was lifted. Left ankle stays crossed over right knee. Let both of your knees fall over to the left side. Once your knees fall to the left, heel toe your right foot over to the right more so that your right knee is underneath your right hip. And then just breathe. Gently release your foot off of your knee, bring both of your knees into your chest. And this time we'll take a regular happy baby pose. So if you like the way the other one felt and it was more accessible, feel free to do that. Otherwise, peace fingers, thumbs, reach for big toes, maybe reach for the outsides of your feet, soles of feet up to the sky, and then just rock side to side. If you want to stretch into your hamstrings, you can straighten one leg at a time. Good. And then bring both of your knees back into your chest and just take a couple more knee circles here. Move through both directions. And once you do that, we're going to settle straight into a Shavasana. So lengthen your legs out in front of you. And this is where I want you to really get comfortable. If you want to grab your blanket, you can try placing your blanket underneath your knees for a little extra support. You can place your blanket underneath your head, or if you tend to get cold, feel free to cover up with your blanket. So really do what works for you right now. And if you would like to cover your eyes with a shirt or a towel or anything you have close by, you're welcome to do that as well. So from here, just breathe naturally. If your mind starts to wander, just recognize that and begin again. Bring your attention to the top of your head. Feel the sensations there. Tingling, warmth, coolness, or maybe an absence of sensation. Slowly move your attention to the front of your face. Notice any tightness or relaxation. Notice your forehead, nose, mouth, and cheeks. Is your jaw clenched or loose? Turn your attention to your eyes. Feel the weight of your eyelids. The movement of your eyeballs in their sockets. The brush of the lashes. Feel your lips. Softness, coolness. You don't have to name these things, just feel them. Return to the top of your head. Feel your ears, the sides of your neck, tops of your shoulders. Slowly move your awareness down the upper arms. Feel the elbows, the forearms, let your attention rest for a moment on your hands. The palms, the backs of hands, see if you can feel each separate finger. Each fingertip. Bring your attention back to the neck and throat. Slowly move it through the chest. Notice any sensations you find there. Move your attention to the rib cage. The abdomen. Your awareness is gentle. You're not looking for anything. Just staying open to the feeling you find. Return your attention to the neck. Now let your awareness move down to your shoulder blades. Mid back. Lower back. You may feel stiffness, maybe tension. Whatever you encounter, simply notice it. Bring your attention to your legs. Your thighs. Your knees. calves, feeling your ankles. Settle your attention into your feet. Take a few moments to notice that your body is fully grounded right now. Your breath supports this grounding sensation by allowing your body to settle even more with each slow exhale. Nothing else to do right now. Just be. If you're completely comfortable as you are, you're welcome to stay just resting. Otherwise, we're going to move through one more breathing exercise before we close out. And we're going to do some belly breathing to start. So if you would like, you can place both hands just on your belly, maybe on your belly and chest. And first, I just want you to notice how you're breathing right now. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice if it feels hopefully pretty smooth right now. And notice where in your body you can feel your breath moving. So when you take an inhale, do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your belly? Maybe a combination of both. And nothing's right or wrong, just paying attention to it right now. And then we're going to take a few rounds of rib cage breathing. So from here, you can slide both of your hands onto your rib cage, maybe even out to the sides just slightly. Yeah. So you can feel your ribs in your hands. And then when you take an inhale, when you breathe in, see if you can expand your rib cage. So rather than trying to make your stomach go up and down, try to expand your rib cage out to the sides. Yeah, and then release everything down. Just let your rib cage softly fall. So don't worry about the exhale. With the inhale, trying to expand your ribs out. With the inhale, and on your exhale, they just gently kind of knit back in together. So this is not an intuitive breath. This takes work to practice and get it down. Let's see if you can take like 3 or 4 more rounds, full rounds of breath here. Trying to feel your ribs expand out to the sides. Good, really good. And now from here, you can slide your hands down to your belly. Yeah, maybe your low belly. And do the same thing. Breathe into your hands. So really focus on expanding your low belly with breath on your inhale. And belly gently falls on your exhale. Nothing to do there. And keep breathing like that. But just noticing how you can create these different breathing patterns. Notice how they feel in your body. And these two in particular are really nice to do in the evening to help you relax. And just take 2 more rounds of belly breath. Big cleansing breath. Perfect. Okay, bring your hands into fists and just take a couple slow wrist circles, both directions. And we'll take a full body stretch here. Stretch both arms overhead, reach for the ground all the way behind you. Big inhale through your nose. Then exhale through your mouth, let it go. Perfect. Roll over onto your right side. As little movement as possible. Just gently rolling into a little ball. Knees hugging in. And with your eyes closed, make your way all the way up to seated. So come back up to a seat. And sit up tall. Hands in on your knees, palms face down. And just take a moment to notice how your body feels as we close out the practice. Notice how your mind feels. And once again, notice how your breath feels. Lower your chin to your chest. And take one more head roll in both directions, all the way around. Bring your head up slowly. Finish with one big shoulder shrug. Inhale, shoulders high. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Bring your hands together to your heart. Thank you for practicing with me this evening. Namaste.